I've had a few paranormal encounters over the years. I've always been sensitive to the supernatural. It feels as if everywhere I go, or every house I live in, something tries to reach out to me. I've seen the Hat Man, and even had an encounter with a mimic, but this story tops them both on a whole new level. I'm going to change the names to protect the privacy of the people involved. My husband's parents live in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by pine plantations and dense forests. Their nearest neighbor is 10 kilometers away. My mother, Lee, and I used to do paranormal investigations together. When I mentioned that I always felt like something was watching me whenever I visited my in-laws, she became excited to investigate the land. We set out for a spot I had visited a few times and knew by heart. A friend of ours, Ness, joined us. She was a mix of nervous and excited since she had never been to the area. I sat in the back seat while he drove and Ness sat in the passenger seat. We were sharing stories and laughing about life as I navigated. As we neared the location, a heavy weight settled on my chest, and my head felt leaden. I was so exhausted that I could barely keep my eyes open. Suddenly, a wave of pure rage hit me. I wasn't just angry, I was livid. I felt a primal urge to burn the world down, to rip throats open with my teeth. As this absolute fury built inside me, I wanted nothing more than to reach over and wrap my hands around my mother's throat. I kept giving directions, trying to stay calm, but it wasn't helping. Vile thoughts flowed through me, and a small part of me was absolutely horrified that I might actually follow through. Then, everything went black. When I came to, we had pulled over, and Lee was frantically reciting every prayer she knew. Ness was in tears, her face as pale as a sheet. What happened? What's wrong? I asked. Their eyes snapped to mine. Poor Ness nearly jumped out of her skin. Lee walked over to me where I sat, my back pressed against the car door. The fear on her face made me feel sick. "Honey, are you okay?" she asked hesitantly. Yeah. Why?" I responded. She still didn't look convinced. I stood up and walked toward them, but Ness looked like she was on the verge of passing out. Exhaustion washed over me again. Breathing and talking felt like a monumental effort. I suggested we just go home, as I was too tired for an investigation. Both Lee and Ness eagerly agreed. The ride back was silent. Finally, I asked, "So, is anyone going to tell me what happened?" Ness let out a nervous giggle. Lee locked eyes with me through the rearview mirror and took a deep breath. "You were giving us directions, but then, every time we asked which way to go, you just smirked and let out this low chuckle. When I looked at you, your eyes were black, fully black. The way you looked at me, it wasn't you. Your face, your voice, It was something dark and evil. It wasn't my daughter looking back at me. She was shaking, fighting back tears. I didn't know what to say. I remembered nothing, but I knew they wouldn't lie to me. Lee continued, "You led us to a quarry. As soon as we pulled over, you looked at us and said, 'This is the perfect place to leave a body.' Or two. After that bombshell, you got out of the car, snarled at us, and then threw up everywhere." I shuddered. What had happened to me? For days afterward, Lee was still on edge around me. I felt like I had to prove it was really me every time we met. This happened years ago, and I've never experienced anything like it since. I truly don't know what took over my body that day, and part of me thinks I'm better off not knowing. But one thing is for sure, I've never been back to that quarry.